No one is coming to save you. You have to do it for yourself. In this video, I will share how you can actually become disciplined and get things done. We'll talk about the 21-day myth. It doesn't really take 21 days to build a habit, why we actively choose to procrastinate on our own lives, and what to do to break free from this cycle. Right now, you can see today's chapters. I have a lot of interesting things planned out for this video, so make sure to pay attention. The first thing that can help you become disciplined is introducing an anchor. Let's say you want to build a habit of going to the gym consistently. Your habit might be attending a class with an instructor every single week. Because you have this class scheduled with a person, you're more likely to attend it. Whereas oftentimes when we go to the gym alone and do the workout alone, we're more likely to bail. It is hard for a lot of people at the beginning to start doing something and then do this thing consistently. And so if you introduce an anchor into your day, into your routine, this is honestly what helped me build my habit to work out consistently, because I would either book like a group yoga session and then I just had to go, right? It meant that I already paid, or maybe like a person was waiting for me there. So I couldn't just say no. It's a lot easier to say no when you want to practice yoga at home, for example, by yourself. Right? You can say, oh, I have too much work, or I feel too tired, or I need to go make dinner. But when you have the class scheduled with some other person, especially if you paid money for that class, you're a lot more likely to show up. And this little technique basically helps you feel comfortable with being uncomfortable at the very beginning, because when you just start a new habit, there's gonna be a lot of resistance, and it's completely normal. It's absolutely normal to feel a little bit uncomfortable at the very beginning, and slowly but surely you will get accustomed to new habits. But at the beginning, it's nice to have an anchor because it will help you on this journey of building a new habit. And then once you've built it, it's a part of your lifestyle. It's a part of you now. What also helps me stay accountable in my habits is my ultimate habit tracker on Notion. And you can get access to it on my website. It has cool buttons to add new days and keep track of your daily habits. You can jump between 3 different views: today, calendar, and weekly. And you can see your progress at a glance with the help of this cool graph from Chartbase. So if you want to get access to my ultimate habit tracker, you can go to my website veronikamark.com and check it out. Now let's move on and talk about the 21-day myth. The idea that it takes exactly 21 days to build a new habit is a myth. Research has shown that it actually takes a lot more to build a new habit. And it honestly depends person to person. A study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology in 2009 found that on average, it takes about 66 days to develop a new habit. A lot more than just 21 days. But honestly, for some people, it can take as little as 18 days, while for other people, it can actually take up to a year. It all depends on the complexity of the habit and on individual differences. I don't want the key takeaway from this research to be sadness or frustration that most of us have to actually work longer and harder to build a habit. No, even though we kind of do have to work to build a new habit and stay disciplined. I want the key takeaway to be that regular repetition of the behavior is crucial. The more consistent you are, the quicker the habit forms. Not gonna lie, for me, when I was just building my going to the gym habit, it was hard to stay consistent every single day because that was my goal. Like, eventually I wanted to exercise every single day, or at least be active every single day, like maybe go on walks and not go to the gym, for example. And so at the beginning, I just set myself this goal of going to the gym once a week. I set an anchor, a class with an instructor, and I went to the gym once a week. Then I increased the goal. My second goal was going to the gym twice a week, and then 3 times a week, and then 4 times a week. And then I introduced some other workout routines like doing yoga or going bouldering, not just going to the gym, because for me, I know who I am, and I know that it's hard to just go to the gym every single day. I know a lot of people for whom it works perfectly well. I know that for me, it just won't work. I absolutely have to do something different every single day, or else I will get bored. So knowing who you are, your individual differences, knowing how long it usually takes you to build a new habit, and how consistent you can be from the very beginning is very important. Now let's talk about creating a done list. A lot of us usually write to-do lists every single day, right? And we can make them super long. And a lot of people actually struggle with this notion of creating very long to-do lists and never finishing them and then feeling bad. And so instead of feeling bad, what you can do is create a done list. Like actually track all the activities that you do every single day. If you feel like you don't do enough, if you feel like your to-do list is so long, but today you only did a few things. Because we actually accomplish so many different things every single day. And if you list all of them, it can help you stay motivated, stay disciplined, and then feel good about yourself and keep going. I also notice that sometimes I don't actually account for the fact that some activities just take a lot of time. For example, for me to film this YouTube video, it's not just filming this YouTube video that I have to take into account. Like the time it takes for me to get ready, like do a little bit of makeup, get dressed, set up my camera, like the lights and everything, the space for filming, it takes time too. So instead of writing, today I have to film a new video, I have to remember how much time it actually takes me to film a video and be realistic about it. In the past, I actually set a timer to see how much time it takes me to record a full video, to make thumbnails, to make additional clips, to get ready, to set up my camera, to shoot. And I know that it's actually a lot more time than many of you realize. The next little tip that can help you stay disciplined and organized while working from home is dressing for productivity. I work from home and I love wearing my PJs around the house. But I have noticed that when I wear super comfy clothes like my PJs, loungewear, I just don't feel productive. I don't feel disciplined. Like all I want to do is crawl into bed or sit on my couch and work. And sometimes when I do those things, my productivity plummets. And so dressing up can put you into this professional mindset and improve your focus and discipline. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or super uncomfortable. Obviously, if we wear uncomfortable clothing, we actually feel less productive, less organized. And so wearing something nice like this top, let's say, I think it's a nice top instead of wearing PJs all day, it just makes me feel more organized, more disciplined, more like I'm actually working and not just spending my full day in bed. The next technique you can try is using the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This makes sure that small tasks don't just pile up and then overwhelm you eventually. What I have on my phone to successfully do this 2-minute rule is a brain dump page, literally on the home screen of my phone. Every single time I have like a little thought that I have to do this or I have to do that, it takes me less than 2 minutes to write it down on my brain dump page on Notion. It frees up my mental space, it makes sure that I don't actually carry all of this information in my brain all day. And then later when I have the time and when I want to look at my brain dump page, I just open it and I have a list of all the little things that I wanted to do. If you struggle with getting distracted when you work, use a power hour. Just take your phone, turn it off, and spend this hour on deep, uninterrupted work. It is important for a lot of people to be in the state of flow, to be fully immersed into an activity. But unfortunately, a lot of us get distracted by our phones, by other people who message us on our phones. So just shut it all off. Control where you put your focus on. If you have a deadline, if you have an important task, it should be your top priority. You shouldn't be doing this important task and then getting distracted by every single message. What is more important to you? Responding to every single message or actually getting your work done? I think for a lot of you, the answer is going to be the latter. As a woman who loves productivity, I also have to mention this additional tip for all the women out there. Adapt your routine. When I started learning more things about my hormonal cycle, I realized that I, for example, don't have a lot of energy to go to the gym when I'm on my period. And before that, I would actually push myself because I wanted to build this habit, right? I didn't know a lot of things about my menstrual cycle, about my energy levels, so I would just push myself all the time. And I felt so bad. I felt like a working horse on the field, just like no energy, exhausted all the time, and not feeling connected to my feminine self. And so now when I'm in my luteal phase or when I'm on my period and I just know that I don't have enough energy to go to the gym today, I don't. And I still think that I'm consistent in my habits, even if I don't go to the gym sometimes. Because once I do get all of my energy back, I go to the gym even with more passion because I actually missed it. And during those phases of my cycle, I still love to keep some kind of level of activity, Maybe it's just gentle stretching at home, like doing a very gentle, very slow, like 10-minute yoga routine, or maybe going on a walk, something very easy, something that feels effortless. Because I want my workout routines to feel effortless. I don't want to feel like a working horse in the fields anymore. And finally, if you want to become a disciplined person and get things done, you absolutely have to be honest with yourself and know who you are. Are you a person who chooses to procrastinate on themselves? Are you a person who doesn't know their values? I know that for me, my health is important. So yeah, sometimes I might say, I feel lazy, I don't want to go to the gym, but then I do a reality check. Veronika, is your health important for you? You haven't been to the gym in a week, so you have to go. If you don't want to go to the gym, maybe you can do some other kind of physical activity. But don't lie to yourself. That is the most important message. You have to do something to build a new habit. You have to be honest with yourself and do things that align with how you see yourself. If I want to build discipline and start eating healthy, all I have to do is think back to my values. I value my health. And so if every single day I fill my body with junk food, I know that my health is not going to be that great. I know that eventually I'm not going to feel that good. So instead of continuing lying to myself and saying that it's fine, I'll be fine, yes, I have to go back to my values, to how I see myself as a person, to how I see myself in 5, in 10 years, and then act accordingly. And for many of us, matching what we believe in with our actions is honestly the hardest thing of all. But it is also the most important. If you keep telling yourself that discipline is important to you, that you believe that discipline is important to you, but you never actually take action, that you never actually do anything to prove to yourself that discipline is important to you, is it actually important to you? Stay true to yourself first and foremost. Now let's talk about your homework today, and I really want you to think about the anchors that you can introduce into your daily life to help you build new routines, because I understand sometimes it's hard, but those little things, those little anchors can really help you stay consistent. And you can honestly create anchors for any kind of new habit that you want to build. If you want to go to the gym, if you want to meditate more, if you want to read more, or if you want to be just very focused when you work, you can find an anchor for any activity, and that anchor will help you do the activity more successfully. If you want to continue learning more things about building new habits, I highly recommend checking out this video about micro habits that completely transform my life. So click right here and keep on watching.